For the longest time, people have complained about working for Walmart, yet and still their relatives continue to apply for Walmart. So, since you're looking for the Walmart hiring process, I am going to assist you with that, right? It's a simple Google search. But before you ride out into the sunset, I do want you to know your options and hand you a couple warnings. First pinned comment is our staffing agency, remote-staffing.site, where you can start remote jobs, meaning you can do them from home, you can do them from Brazil if you want. It does not matter. And there's only a 60-second background check in comparison to the background check or the hiring process you're going to go through with Walmart. I remember taking a little test and everything when I worked with Walmart before, and that test was like 45 minutes to an hour back there, and then you still have to wait for them to call you back and all that. Come on, y'all. But anyway, let me just show you. Let me show you because a lot of people are stubborn and still want to know. So I'm gonna give you the hiring process. Key stages of the hiring process. You can apply online, like right over here. Okay. You can either work at Sam's Club store or in the actual Walmart store. Okay. Hourly roles are often require an initial 15 to 20-minute application. Okay. So you got to fill out the application first. That takes 15 to 20 minutes. Okay. Now, if there was no other option, guys, I wouldn't be putting emphasis on this stuff, but there's definitely other options. Okay. Uh, okay. But look, after the application is a 20 to 30-minute assessment, which should be done immediately. I remember sitting back there, some of the workers walking past me and stuff like that. They already working there and everything. And I'm just on that mug, like, and there's hella people walking past, and the little machine is just out there and open. Now, it might not be like that in every location, but the one I was at, it was definitely like that, and it was super annoying. And it says 20 to 30-minute assessment. Now, maybe they didn't change it since then, but it was definitely 45, nothing less than 45 minutes. He's like, well, maybe you stupid. Okay. Maybe I'm stupid, like you smart. Okay. Maybe. All right. So the interview, often casual and quick, focusing on availability, experience, and personality. These may be held in person or virtually. Virtually, that's something new with Walmart. So that's kind of cool. And that happened when the scamdemic was going on, Snowbit, if you want to call it that. You know what I'm talking about, right? So that's cool. But basically, what they want to hear, which is why I was able to get hired at any job I wanted to, regardless of experience, is that you're willing to be a slave. So first thing I would tell them is I'll work on off days, I'll work on holidays, I'll work other people's shifts. I don't have a time where I don't need to work. I'll work doubles. If you got a third shift, I'll work that, and you, as long as you let me take a nap in the break room for 5 minutes or something like that. You tell them that type of stuff, they'll hire you. The truth is, all these companies wish it was the slave days. So if you let them know that, you'll get hired. All right. So now, background checks are standard. Drug tests may be required for specific roles. Once cleared, you will be scheduled for orientation. Okay. So a lot of you guys can't even pass a background check or a drug test, especially since reefer is legal now. I know that's a freaking struggle for y'all. You understand what I'm saying? I know it is. So, not saying that you don't want to be sober or anything like that, but that's why having remote gigs, remote jobs and stuff allow you a lot more freedom than you would have if you worked at some place like Walmart. Now, if you don't do any of that type of stuff, then whatever. Okay, boom, boom, boom. But like I said, availability is key. Highlighting open availability often improves hiring chances. If you have greater availability than somebody that has 3 years experience, they'll still pick you over them because they want somebody they can crack the whip on. They're like, you know what? We'll just, we'll train them. So application status, you can check your application status on the site, which will show you whether it's under review, interview scheduled, or position filled. I don't remember any of that. Like I said, it was less less advanced back when I applied, but it's still the same BS. Now, if not selected, you can reapply for other positions as applications stay in the system for 60 days. I remember I was trying to apply for truck delivery or something like that position, something with the truck. I had just came off over the road. And I was like, yeah, I'll do that. You know, I was trying to get something regional or local. And they was like, hell no at the time. So I was like, all right, well, let me apply for like stocking and stuff like that. And I still didn't get approved, right? So it sucked, right? All right. So certain criminal convictions or in some cases, failed drug tests can disqualify applicants. I put emphasis on that because half the world is not sober right now. It's just not. Okay. So in the first pinned comment, you can do a 60-second background check and select one of these remote gigs, or you can do this delivery gig right here if you just want to be doing something in your city or something like that. Okay. All right.